This is Eagle Owl, and today I'll be talking about Nick Sirianni was almost baited by WIP, but I believe he handled it very, very well. Also, AJ Brown embracing that villain role, and lastly, we gotta talk about our opponent, the Steelers, and they might be missing a key person, but let's get straight into it. All right, man. So before we hop straight into it, all this BS with the Brandon Graham, AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts thing, I had to talk about it. But in that process, I forgot to talk about the guy who's not getting enough praise that should be getting praise. Oh, I hate the Girl Scout and all that type of stuff. No offense to my ladies that watch the channel, but like, come on, man. This is men in the locker room being gossip girls. Let's be honest, man. But I forgot to talk about the guy, and my guy that I nominate is Moro Jamo. Moro Jamo had a very, very good game. He was very underrated. The defense overall didn't have a good game. You've seen good moments, but I think they played one of their worst games since the beginning of the season, to be honest, in my honest opinion. But there were bright spots. Zach Bond still looking like an all pro slash the best linebacker in the league. Jalen Carter was getting there, wasn't getting the sacks. I think Milton Williams, PFF, didn't do him any favors, but I thought he played really, really well. He just, for some reason, wasn't getting the quarterback down. Same with Josh Sweat. His hands would literally be on the quarterback, and they couldn't get him down to the ground. I just didn't understand. But Moro Jomo had a really good game, and this is what he did. So, according to Anthony DeBona, Eagles' second-year player, Moro Jomo had himself quite a game in Week 14. In just 15 pass rushing snaps, Ojomo recorded 5 total pressures, and then said the 23-year-old defensive linemen had 3 hurries and 2 QB hits against the Panthers. Now, we talking about a 7th rounder here. A 7th rounder is doing these things. I got to salute him. He had a really good game. But let's get back to the things that's going on in the locker room, and let's talk about that stuff just a little bit. Just a little bit. But I want to play some Landon Dickerson had to say about the pass game because he was on WIP. And I think he answered the question to me perfectly. But let me play this clip.
Now about how the offense is operating, and clearly running the ball is working really well. You set a franchise record yesterday. But in terms of how the offense is operating from a passing standpoint, like where are you at with that?
Yeah, so I mean, my thing is like I know people are frustrated, and not only players in the locker room, but like mainly speaking from a fan perspective of how we played Sunday, and we're frustrated too. And a lot of the times, the frustration doesn't come from an individual or like a me first mentality. We understand how good we can be with the players we have, with the coaches and personnel that we have, and we all have almost a level of expectation of how we can go out there on Sundays and play football. And when you don't do that, you have an expectation. You like, we know we can do this, and when you go out there and don't do it, it's frustrating for a lot of guys. So it's not really. I don't think there's one selfish dude in that locker room. I think what it comes down to is we know what we can be and what we can put out on the film and what we can do on Sundays, and we just didn't go out there and do it. And we can sit around and say, that's not the kind of team we are. But at the end of the day, we put that on film, and it's frustrating. And now we got to go back, evaluate, and fix it.
So when you talk about evaluation,
As you see, he's like, yo, everybody see it. The fans see it. We see it. Frustrated with the pass game. And he said no one is selfish. No one is selfish, and I agree with that. I don't think anybody's selfish on this team. It's just that it was after a game, the emotions is high, and we know this team could take it to another level if that pass game get going. You got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. That pass game got to get going. And a lot of you guys think I'm poo-pooing on Hurst, and I'm not. I'm just saying this particular game or last particular game, he had a bad game, and that's okay. That's okay to say. And I've been watching other content creators, other guys break down, smaller YouTubers, Gate City, and we all coming to the same conclusion. Like, it's okay. Jalen Hurts didn't have the best game. There were guys running open, and we just don't know what was going on, what was happening. So I had to make sure I wasn't tripping. I'm like, let me watch the all 22 guys, the Twitter guys, the people that just do what I do, reporter guys. I'm like, okay, we somewhat all on the same page. Like, Jalen Hurts didn't have the best day, but we not too extreme, like bench him, this and that. Fans can get extreme. I'm not saying that. I'm saying these things can be cleaned up. Now, did AJ Brown handle it the best? No, he did not handle it the best. I love AJ Brown. Y'all heard what I said. I think he can say anything he want. He's that guy. But in all seriousness, like he could have handled that better. And it was just a ripple effect that Brandon Graham, who I thought was just completely wrong, he could have handled that better. He apologized later, but you already added fuel to the fire. But a guy that is handling the situation great, and my eyes was on him while everybody wasn't, is Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni handled this very, very well. Whereas though 2023, he was fluttering, he looked out of it, looked out of sync. The media was picking apart, and the media tried to get him again. And let me play this clip by WIP.
So here's the thing, Nick. I hear you on we got to be better. I get that. And I get that that's AJ's desire. But he pointed a finger at the quarterback. I mean, that is not good. And I got to imagine that creates a hell of a complexity for you as the head coach when the wide receiver points a finger at the quarterback.
Yeah, I didn't take it that way. And again, you can do anything and spin it any way, but I didn't take it that way. And I took it as we want to get better as a passing attack. AJ's part of the passing attack. And so we all want to be better at it. I want to be better at it. Jalen wants to be better at it. AJ wants to be better at it. And hey, Jalen and AJ are both really outstanding people and both really outstanding players. And I love that our players are wanting to get better and desire to get better. And that's what we talk about all the time is how we get better and how we do things and be able to do some things that are special.
You see how they tried to get him? AJ Brown never said Jalen Hurts' name. He just said pass game. Nick Sirianni is like, nah. Y'all not getting me with that one. He answered the question perfectly. And I think, honestly, everything he said is true. I think these guys are cool, but you could tell who's the hothead friend in the relationship. You could tell you got the cool guy, you got the, he's just going to spill the beans guy. We know which guy that is. But I think Nick Sirianni handled this well, whereas though it seemed like he lost the team last year, which I still believe that he lost the team at some point. But the way he's doing it now, he's handling it perfectly. Like, he's getting the team together like, hey, we just won a game against the Panthers. Be excited about that. You got Michael Clay preaching the same thing to the special teams like, hey, Jake Elliott and all this and all that. I know we gone through it or it wasn't our best game, but we won the game. You got to be excited about that. You got to get pumped about that. Not really like how the coaches are handling it. But last year, we just didn't have the experienced coaches to do it. And Nick Sirianni, he wasn't doing that himself. But Nick Sirianni, from week one to now, you literally see the growth. Pause. You definitely see the growth. So shout out to Nick Sirianni handling it well. And AJ Brown's hearing what everybody's saying. So he changed his Instagram, Twitter, and all that. We called him Swole Batman. But right now, he's Joker. He's on his I'm on my evil time right now. So, again, AJ Brown is seeing everything. He's seeing how people react to him, seeing what people saying about him. And I guess it's getting to him. He's like, okay, I'm just send a message without sending a message. Just changed his profile pictures. He knew the blogs and stuff was going to pick up on it. But shout out to AJ Brown, embracing that role. I don't think people looking at him as a villain. I honestly think people agree with him. A lot more people agree with him. It's just that they don't like how he handled it. A lot of people saying like, yeah, we agree, but we wish you just said that behind closed door. I don't think people are really against AJ Brown. People love AJ Brown. You got to think AJ Brown was damn near the final recipe to get us to the Super Bowl. And you seen we got to the Super Bowl in 2022, and he's still important. Wide receivers and stuff are divas. We just got to face the fact. Jamar Chase, you got Debo Samuels out here tweeting, "I just want the ball." He tweeted that out. He tweeted that out. Like you got to watch these top receivers. That's just how they are. And I honestly think out of all the top receivers, our receiver handles his emotions the best. You see what Jamar Chase did, calling out Joe Burrow at one point in the media, and these guys that have been playing together since college. Hell, he said, "Pay me. I don't know what y'all gonna do with T. Higgins." Those the words that came out of Jamar Chase's mouth. Imagine AJ Brown saying that in Philly locker room. Imagine AJ Brown tweeting out instead of saying passing or whatever. Imagine he tweeted out, "Man, I'm not struggling. I just want the ball." Come on, man. Again, you got to watch some of these other receivers. I know sometimes we just locked in on the Eagles. AJ Brown, he's human. I would say that. And he controls his emotions a lot better than some of these receivers in this league. Justin Jefferson had his episode. Oh, yes, he had his episode. CeeDee Lamb, he have his episodes. We see it all the time. This dude was screaming help on the sideline. I don't know, man. I just don't know what y'all expect out of AJ Brown. It is what it is. It is what it is. So embrace your role, AJ. I got you going for over 100 yards. People calling me crazy, but I got Jalen Hurts throwing 300 yards. And mind you, this is against a good Steelers team. But speaking of this good Steelers team, I told you I got to talk about the opponents, but it looked like they will be out or be out of a key weapon. That's Pickens. See the title, Pickens out. So he's dealing with a hamstring, and usually hamstrings, you're going to at least miss a game or two, possibly three. And they probably looking at it like, you know what, it's an NFC game. If we fall or we lose this game, it's okay. We can recover because Baltimore like 2 games behind them or whatever. So even if they lose, they'll be fine. They probably want their star receiver healthy for their playoff run. But I think they do need this win to like clinch a playoff spot. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the Steelers, but without Pickens coming into Philly after the week we just had, damn near the Steelers, mind you, a 11-2 team, the Steelers looking like a must-win game because all this frustration going on. Because oh man, if we lose, it's gonna be some trouble. Because imagine if Jalen Hurts do throw for 300. Imagine if AJ Brown do get 100 and Smitty right behind him with 90. And let's say Saquon get like 70, 80. Say if he don't hit that 100 mark and we lose, they gonna be like, look, you got to go back to that run game. So it's gonna be a lot of that talk. But I think we could beat the Steelers even if they had Pickens. But them not having Pickens definitely make them more one-dimensional. Because then I'm looking at their receiver core. I'm like, I don't see none of these dudes getting open. There's only one way they can beat us, or 2 ways is us beating ourselves, just completely imploding. Then 2, running Najee Harris? I don't see no threat as far as the receivers. The guy they got from New York that got cut, he's playing fine, but he's a good number 2, number 3, but he got to transition to that number 1 role. You got to deal with Quinyon Mitchell. Got to deal with Slay. And then whoever is going to be their number 2, I don't know, man. I just don't see them having enough offensive power to deal with us. And, they haven't beat us in Philly since 19, whatever, 50 something. Like, Steelers ain't beat us in Philly in a long time. Way before my time, way before some of you guys that watch me time. It's been a long time since they beat us in Philly. I don't got the exact date on my mind, but I know it's been a long time. Then again, missing your star receiver, I don't know. And I would have liked him and Quinyon to go back and forth. I would have liked that matchup because Pickens talk his junk. And we know Pickens, he be tweaking on the sidelines and tweaking on the field. Just want to see him do it to Quinyon, see how Quinyon handle it. But look like we ain't going to get that. And that's all I got for you guys today. And hey, man, what do you think? How do you feel? how Nick Sirianni handled the media. I really like how he handled it for sure. Even what Landon Dickerson talked about. How do you guys feel about my pick about Moro Jamo being that underrated player that should have got more love? AJ Brown, again, Pickens being out, and this is Eagle Owl, man. I'm out.